Hello friends, and also hello enemies. Today we are taking a look at a Nendoroid. This is the Good Smile Nendoroid Shiranui from Okami. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'm pretty sure it's Shiranui, but I cannot be certain because I don't speak Japanese. Anyway, it's a cute little doggy. I have the Nendoroid Ammy from this game, which is basically just an alternate form of this one. I don't recall what the packaging looked like. I think this packaging is a lot more colorful and involved than the Ammy packaging. I don't recall it being quite so colorful. You've got a lot of different stuff going on here. Sakura blossoms against this yellowy, pale green background. Very, very colorful and eye-catching. And then of course throughout you have promotional photos. There's the original Ammy with this new Shiranui. Some more stuff on the back. Chemicals in this toy are known to the state of California to cause cancer, but so is pretty much everything, so that doesn't worry me. More promotional photos on the side. So yeah, like I said, I got the Nendoroid Ammy and I reviewed her on this channel. That was a while ago, and it didn't go great. Ow, okay, we got it. Okay, so you guys are gonna want to be very careful putting this in because I broke it. I know it may not seem like it, but I'm usually pretty gentle with my stuff, and it was kind of brittle. It broke really easily. She is still broken. I haven't fixed her beyond attaching the reflector to her back with blue tack, which is not a great fix. I could probably come up with something better, but I just haven't yet. But anyway, I was really interested in getting the Shiranui to see if there were the same problems, because with the Ammy, that reflector just broke off so easily, like it was made of pencil lead or something. So I am A, going to be extra careful with Shiranui, and B, going to investigate to see if she will have the same issues that Ammy did. So, let's dive in. Or I guess if we're going with the dog theme, I should say, let's uncover the truth or something. I don't know. Always go in from the bottom when you can. I don't know. I do that. It is not a pro tip or anything. That's just what I do. There's no right or wrong way. I don't know why I'm framing this as like advice. Please don't take anything I say as advice, because it's not. Well, I guess it is technically advice, but it's probably not good advice, and I myself don't endorse it. Some more interesting patterns on the inside. A lot of those flower petals, that checks out because whenever Ammy runs, there's foliage and flowers and stuff behind her. So when I was looking at the Ammy Nendoroid and it broke, I got a few comments that were kind of mean and blaming me and saying I didn't look at the instructions, but I did. There are some videos I do where, especially early on, I would make a joke out of throwing the instructions away, but I never really did. I always looked at the instructions. It was just kind of a bit, you know? Some people took that literally and said it was my fault that it broke, and it really, I mean, I guess ultimately, sure, but the piece itself was very fragile, and I'd seen other people have that issue too. So it wasn't that I was being careless or stupid, it was just a faulty piece. So hopefully they fixed that with this one. Nendoroid products are usually very high quality, so I'm always excited to unbox them. I think that Ammy was kind of a fluke. I don't usually have an issue with Nendoroid parts. It's got some little legs in this packaging here. Here are the instructions for Shiranui, and I want to make it clear to you that I am looking at them and not throwing them away. Honestly, like 75% of anything I do is just to amuse myself. It's all just to be funny. And most people might not find it funny, but I find it funny, and that's why I do it. But some people either don't get that or don't like it. That's okay. Shiranui looks a little bit more involved than Ammy, but that checks out because she's got more parts. She's fluffier and more ornate. Got a very beautiful reflector weapon. It's hard to unbox this on camera because, as you guys know, my ring light's very large and my arms are very short. Okay, I'm gonna have to hold her pretty close to the camera because she is so little. But she is very intricately detailed. I was a little curious. Oh, yeah, I had this problem with the Ammy one too. Her little shoulder furries like to come off. I was interested to see how they were going to do this Nendoroid because Shiranui in the game is very, intricate. Not only does she have extra fluff and extra markings throughout her body, but she's got this kind of ethereal fur that flows from her back, and that is represented here. It's not as ethereal as it is in the game, but there's only so much you can do, especially when she's chibified like this. But yeah, I am remembering now that the Ammy figure had these same problems with the extra fur wanting to come off. Very beautiful paintwork on the head. Super cute face. Nendoroids are rarely a miss. You know, even though the Ammy one broke, the detail and the paint on it is still really beautiful, so she still looks really good just standing there. Even got some slight fur detail on the chest. A little ruff of fur underneath the head here. Let's see, this comes out, but does this still stay in? I was worried that once you took this peg out that the fur thingies right here would want to come out too, but they stay in place pretty well. It is a little bothersome that there's a big hole there, but there's also a big hole on her belly. It can't be helped, I guess. I mean, really, you're gonna be wanting to display Shiranui with her weapon anyway, and that's gonna go on her back. I mean, I assume, I don't mean to speak for you, but that's just what I would like to do, because I always thought that weapon was so cool. Bathed in holy fire. You've got the image of the sun right here, since Shiranui is an incarnation of Amaterasu, the goddess of the sun. And I think what you're meant to do is remove these fluffies right here and put this on her. But first I want to look at articulation, and then I will go through all the parts. I mean, for a Nendoroid, you're not going to get much articulation typically, especially I think with something like this. You've got some tail movement, some head movement, just some little things. Legs back and forth. Same with back legs. And we'll get into her other legs here in a minute. Yeah, only slight movement on the head, but even just a slight bit makes a difference. Like she's looking up here, kind of facing forward here. Cute little head tilt. She's adorable. Okay, let's just check out this fluffy area. Remove this very gently. This is where we went awry last time with Ammy. So just ever so gently. There we go. Yeah. That went a lot smoother. This one can rock back and forth a little bit on an axis. Don't try to force it if it's not going, because that could break it. And yeah, these little furry parts on the shoulders are an issue. I kind of wonder if I could just, I don't know, it seems like sacrilege to glue in parts of a Nendoroid, but they do fall off so easily. Anyway, she looks really cool like this. Can you keep this piece in? And put in the... Oh, yeah, you can. It looked in the instructions like they were suggesting to take off this fur piece, but this still works with the fur piece on. It looks even better in my opinion. Just the more intricate and ornate Shiranui is, the better she looks. I keep saying Shiranui, but her true name is Amaterasu, or Ammy. Shiranui is just what she was known as in the past when she was at full power, but she is always Amaterasu, and she's beautiful. The reflector is what we had problems with last time. It just broke right off. So I'm going to, this is embarrassing. Yeah, I haven't created any kind of real fix. But yeah, it just, like, this part snapped right off. And I have a lot of tools laying around, and I'm a fairly crafty person when I need to be. So I can fix it. I just, you know, I need the motivation, but the blue tack is very unappealing. I also don't like to mess with her much because it just falls off really easily. It looks like an entirely new sculpt for Shiranui. Yeah, they've tightened up some of the details. The proportions look a little bit different. Ammy right here looks more like a puppy. This one looks more like a dog, but still chibified. I think I do prefer the tail on her normal form though, because I just like that ink soaking in toward the tip, and she doesn't have that here. But that's a big part of the game, is that she uses her tail as a paintbrush to draw with, and that's how she uses her powers. They look so cute next to each other though. Okami's a really good game. Some parts of it were very scary, like the seaweed hand and the shipwreck. I don't like giant hands, okay? So that's not all there is to Shiranui. She also comes with this alternate head portrait that can be an attacking or barking or howling head portrait. Basically just the same, but with the mouth open. She comes with these extra legs, as we've seen before. So this can facilitate a better assortment of poses. And she'll come with her celestial envoy, Ishaku. So for Ammy, her envoy is Isun, but since this is in the past, she has a different envoy, and his name is Ishaku, Isun's grandfather. So they're just like tiny little bug people, so all you see is his silhouette inside this glowing ball. And they usually live on Ammy's head, but you don't really get an attachment for that. All you really get as far as that goes is a stand. So if you want Ishaku around Shiranui, you're going to have to utilize the stand, unfortunately. But I guess it's better than having a big hole in her head. And then there's the stand itself. Pretty much all Nendoroids come with this. They are more or less involved depending on how they need to be for the particular Nendoroid. This one is upside down because I'm using it to hold stuff. I don't usually like to use the stands. You don't usually need to. Depending on what pose you're putting them in. And especially for something like Shiranui where she's on 4 legs, she doesn't really need the stand unless you want Ishaku with her. So let's change out her parts just to see if we can. I'm not confident in my abilities to do things without messing them up. So this fur ruff might come off with her head. If it does, try to make sure it stays in the accurate position. That is longer fur toward the back, shorter fur in the front. And then gently slot this new head back onto this joint. Oh, these shoulder furs are just killing me. Bow! This is a nice little case of legs. I like it when things are neatly organized like this. For stuff like this, I typically keep the box just because it's nice to have the extra legs and stuff in there, just arranged like this. I can just pull them out whenever I want. Got little sitting back legs. I'm just gonna take off the shoulder fur because it's just does not want to stay on. That's another thing that's kind of typical of Nendoroids, is like the plastic is really high quality. The engineering is typically pretty good. But sometimes the parts do not want to stay together, especially if they're swappable. I really don't know why they made the shoulder fur on both her and Ammy separate pieces. That seems really unnecessary to me. I think they could have just molded the front legs with the fur pieces on them. So yeah, if you put new front legs on her, you're going to have to replace the shoulder fur bits. There's a notch in them that should make it easy to figure out what goes where if you're not a complete idiot. I'm only laughing because I tend to be a complete idiot. I'm really not as down on myself as I make it seem like. Maybe it's not healthy, I don't know. But there, you got her in a cute little sitting pose. The bottoms of her legs here move, and that is a very adorable detail. Was not expecting that. She's got little paw prints on the bottom. Meow! Very cute. So for this one, I might actually utilize a stand because I really like this pose here, this jumping pose. It's very dynamic and very cute. And I like that she has Ishaku with her. I also hope I'm saying his name right. It's been a long time since I played this game, and he's not in very much of it. I think his name is Ishaku. But yeah, this is a very cute Nendoroid, very nice. It seems that they did fix the problem with the reflector that the Amaterasu Nendoroid had, and for that I'm very grateful. But I do think the Shiranui Nendoroid is an improvement on the Amaterasu Nendoroid, except for that paint tail. Really would have liked to see the paint tail on Shiranui. Once again, it's been a long time since I played the game. I don't remember if she had that in her pure celestial goddess form. One final thing to note is that the heads on these come off really easily. It's not a huge problem, but I noticed this when I was messing with Shiranui. And it's the same on Amaterasu. So, as you just saw, so you have to watch out for the shoulder fur and the heads. And I really don't know why they didn't just make it so that the shoulder fur was attached to all the extra front limbs. That way you wouldn't have to detach and reattach them each time. I don't really see any overarching positives in having them be separate pieces. But as we've discussed several times on this channel, I'm not a toy engineer, aka what do I know? So I hope you enjoyed this review. If you haven't played Okami, I would highly suggest it. It is a very beautiful game. It's a beautiful game, lots of fun. I would love an Amaterasu just like regular figure, like not chibified, just like Amaterasu, like a Figma or something. There's just not that many like animal action figures, but it would be super cool to have her. It would be cool to have like some of the bosses, like the Ninetales boss. That would be really neat. It's never gonna happen, but I can dream. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for watching. Likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Comments are more than welcome, and I will see you guys on the next one.